Today's guest is on a mission to change the way our children think about money.
What if I told you there were 5 specific stocks that could change your life?
He believes financial literacy is not a luxury, but survival.
I define growth stocks as stocks whose revenue increases at least 15% year over year.
Okay.
Income is when you are investing in a stock or a mutual fund, because there are income-focused mutual funds where your goal is to just be able to pay yourself some money. At that point, it becomes gambling, and we're not teaching people gambling.
From discipline to generational wealth, he's here to show us why money is emotional before it's mathematical. This is Hale.
Facts.
That's not paying your bills.
Facts.
So you got to be in the millions of dollars before that makes sense. Microsoft, number one, they have 49% ownership in OpenAI, which is the company that owns ChatGPT.
Yep. He makes more money investing into companies, investing into the stock market than he does his career full time. They say by 2054, African Americans will have 0 to negative net worth. In simplest terms, pretty much they're saying that we will be in the red. I've dedicated the last 15 years of my life to help African Americans, and not just African Americans, but everyone, and get out of the red and get into the black. We're building a community of individuals who want to get out of debt, who want to build wealth, and get into the black. We are almost at 1 million community members who are aligning with that vision, with that mission. But oftentimes I get messages saying, man, I'm in the community, but then you're not subscribed. One of the simplest things and a free thing that you can do to help keep Neatness Network and the table going is simply hitting that subscribe button. We are almost at 1 million subscribers. At the time of recording this, we're at 980,000, there's 20,000 more. And man, I'm simply and super excited that if you have subscribed, thank you for being a part of this community. It's a lot of great things going, but if you haven't, can you do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and join this amazing community of people that by 2054, they don't want to be a part of that stat. They want to be amongst the individuals who are consumer debt-free, building wealth, passing down legacy, and enjoying their life. Do me a favor before we get into today's show, hit that subscribe button and share today's show. Hey, thank you. Let's get to it. What if I told you there were 5 specific stocks that could change your life and eventually, not today, not tomorrow, but eventually put you in a position to where your income is producing more income that could eventually one day replace your 9-to-5 job, to where you can build wealth, go be that amazing father, mother, husband, wife, grandma, grandpa, and live the life that you desire. So y'all know every single month, man, I bring in my brother, who is also an investing expert, who has a crazy portfolio, who's been helping millions of people over the last year when it comes to investing. And I like it because it's like he's helping people who are just now starting. And so I asked him just a couple of weeks ago, I was like, hey man, for our next show, I would really love to give people just some solid options on where to start that will help you build. And y'all, I gotta be honest, he doesn't know I'm gonna share it, but you know, he and his family are going through a lot right now with some family stuff. And he was like, yo, I still wanna come and help and serve the people in his community and our community. And so, yo, we're gonna jump straight into it because I don't wanna waste my brother's time. I would encourage you to go to his YouTube channel, go to his Instagram. You'll learn more about what he and his family are enduring during this time. And this is a man who loves not only his family, but also his community, that he took some time out to come and to just be a blessing to us. So y'all, welcome back to the show. This is like your 10th show, man. Welcome back, bro. You good, man?
Hey, I'm good, brother.
Yes, sir. Welcome back, man. I want to get into it, man. I got these questions because I just want to jump straight into it. I really want to start off these first 2 questions like with the income foundation. All right. Very first one. I want to start with the basics. What would you say is the difference between hoping a stock goes up versus getting paid every month to actually own it?
Yeah, man. I'm glad that we're having this conversation because I think so many people that we encounter think there's only one way to invest.
Yes, sir.
Like there's one correct way.
Yeah.
And ultimately, investing is kind of like your style in music, right? Is like what you like. How does it make you feel? What do you need at that time? In particular. And so that's the same way investing works. It's like, what do you like? What can you handle? How does it make you feel? What do you need at this time? So when you think about growth, the objective of investing in growth stocks or growth mutual funds is for you to start with some amount of money today. And at some point in the future, that amount of money has gone up in value. That's growth. One of the things that makes you a growth investor or makes you target growth stocks or mutual funds is the percentage of growth. So I tell people all the time, I like growth stocks, and I define growth stocks as stocks whose revenue increases at least 15% year over year.
Okay.
All right. That's something that I look for. That's a growth stock. All right. Okay. That's a growth mutual fund. Okay. 15% or more growth year over year.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Now, income works a little bit different. Income is when you are investing in a stock or a mutual fund, because there are income focused mutual funds where your goal is to just be able to pay yourself some money. You don't care about the growth.
Okay.
You don't care about anything else. All you care about is the income that it creates.
Yeah.
So there are two different types of people that these investments are best for.
That's good.
Growth investments, stocks or mutual funds, are best for people who want to see their money grow over time.
Okay.
I want, a lot of the times people talk about age. I don't even think it's about age, to be honest. They used to say that younger people are best aligned with growth investments. And what I'm learning is I talk to more older people about investing, people who are really doing good with their money. As they go into retirement, they still want their money to grow.
Wow.
You know, so it's not about age anymore. It's just about what you need. So people who want to see their money grow a lot are more aligned with growth investments.
And would you say for that one, before you get to the income one, that's like more long-term, right? So you're thinking like maybe what, 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Or what would you say for the growth stock mutual?
So I believe that we've entered a time in the stock market to where we can redefine even what long and short term means.
Love it.
And the reason why is we are seeing companies grow at ridiculous rates.
Yeah.
Okay. Even if you look at companies like Palantir, who a year ago, you know, that stock was $30.
Yeah.
You know, today it's $180. You're talking about, you know, 500, 600% returns in a year.
Yeah.
And there are several companies where we're seeing this happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So now when I talk about long term, I really talk about long term in being 2 years or longer.
Okay.
Not 5 years or longer.
Okay.
Short term, I say anything that's less than a year.
Okay. What about the income focus? Who is that good for?
Income focus. Now, this I am going to be specific about age and stage of life.
All right.
Income focus is going to be for people who are in retirement or at a point where they're not working anymore. I don't like to use retirement so much because there are people who have not retired, but they just not working.
Okay.
Right. And it's not that they're not working because they out of a job. It's like, hey, like I'm chilling right now. I've built up my portfolio enough to where I'm just living off of it.
Wow.
Right. So those people who aren't working and they want to live off of their portfolio, they just want income from their money.
Yeah.
That's who should be focused on income investments.
Gotcha. So retirement, not working anymore, that's income focused mutual funds. And then growth stock mutual funds is 15% over year. You're saying 2 years or longer, that's a good long-term play.
Yep.
Would you ever suggest a growth stock mutual fund if it's less than a year?
No.
Yeah.
No. If it's less than a year, you're gonna need those funds. You don't want to touch it because people gotta keep in mind, like there's a direct relationship between risk and reward.
Yeah.
The greater the potential reward, the more risk there is.
Right.
So just as fast as it can go up, it can go down. Yeah. Right. And it'll come back at some point. But if your timeline is less than a year, you can't take that risk because at that point it becomes gambling, and we're not teaching people gambling.
Okay. All right. Bet. Let's take this a little bit further. What's your thoughts on dividend picks? And are you with them? Not with them?
I am not with them.
Okay.
I believe that there's a population of people where it works.
Okay.
Those are the people who just strictly need the income, but you got to have a fat portfolio.
I was just about to say that.
Okay. Like we might look at it as somebody to have, $250,000. Like, all right, that's a lot of money.
Right.
But when you start talking about like income stocks or dividend paying stocks, typically you're talking about 5% a year.
Yeah.
Right. So if you had $100,000 invested in a income paying investment, 5% on 100,000, that's $5,000 a year.
Facts.
That's not paying your bills.
Facts.
So you got to be in the millions of dollars before that makes sense for you.
Let's say these individuals don't have a lot of money, because the majority of people who watch your show and my show, and we're going to link Courtney's show inside the show notes. The man is dropping knowledge right now. I need y'all to subscribe to his show and even join his investing platform as well. But Courtney, a lot of people who subscribe to both of our messages, they don't have a whole lot of money. They don't have 250,000. They don't have 100,000. The majority of them, not saying not all of them, but I would say the majority of them are going to have anywhere between $50 to 500 to maybe 1,000.
Yep.
And so I have a question here that I want to ask you. Which two stocks could turn a small investment into serious money over time? Which, like, I can say stocks because that sounds like a single stock, but what's the best two investment portfolios, mutual funds, stocks that you would say, all right, for beginners who don't have a lot, start here?
I'm going to give you a few. I'm going to give you more than two.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to give you more than two. I'm going to give you a combination of ETFs
Okay.
and individual stocks.
And ETFs, for the people who are just not watching, what would you say that is? I know what they are, but
Yeah, it's an exchange traded fund.
Yep.
It's a low cost mutual fund that mimics an index. And an index is what we use to determine how well the stock market is doing overall. So it's not looking at every stock. There's 10,000 stocks on the stock market.
Yeah.
So we're not looking at all of them. We're looking at a few of those, a percentage of those stocks to determine how the overall market is doing.
and would you say, before you give us those five, the ETF is better than a growth stock mutual fund? Or would you say they're equal? Or would you say the growth stock mutual fund is a little bit better once you get your money there?
I think that the growth stock mutual fund, the ETF, is going to give you more diversification, so there's less risk.
Yes, sir.
So somebody who may be new to the stock market, with new people in the stock market, one of the biggest concerns is I might lose my money.
Yep.
Okay, and the last thing we want to do with that person is put them in two stocks to try to build wealth.
Yes.
All right, so that's going to be a safer proposition for that person.
Love it.
Now we got some 25-year-olds that are watching this show,
Fact.
and they're like, I need my money to grow fast.
Right.
They're going to be more appropriate for individual stocks, individual growth stocks. We also, let me tell you what I've learned, and this is people from the AO community. There are even people who are approaching retirement, who are 60, who are like, hey, I'm not just trying to live off of this money. I need it to grow so that I can pass it down.
That's it.
I'm having this conversation, all right?
Yeah.
And so those people, I'm talking to them and they're like, hey, yeah, I need the income, but I need this to grow. I know it's gonna come back. I know if it goes down, the market gonna bounce back. That's how it works. Like they've been listening to us, Ayo. They listening to us.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know?
Yeah.
So even that person who realizes that, they can go for the growth stocks as well.
Yeah. I love it. All right. What's your stocks?
All right, so I'm gonna give you my stocks. I'm gonna give you 5
Okay.
growth stocks that'll change your life.
Yep.
Okay? Number 1,
Yeah.
Microsoft.
Okay.
And tell me if you want the explanation. If we want to just go for the stocks for now, I'll just give you the stocks. If you want the explanation, I'll give you the explanation.
No, this is a show of education. So why Microsoft?
All right, Microsoft, number 1, they have 49% ownership in OpenAI, which is the company that owns ChatGPT.
Yep.
We still have not even seen the full use case for artificial intelligence yet.
Facts.
And at some point, right, there's going to be more revenue driven by that company. Microsoft is set to benefit.
Facts.
Also, they're huge in terms of cloud storage. Microsoft is a brand that will continue to be a major part of our society for the next 20 years.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, NVIDIA.
NVIDIA, yeah.
Most valuable company in the world.
Yep.
They are fueling, they are powering the artificial intelligence movement.
Facts.
All right. At this point, most people have probably heard of NVIDIA.
Yes.
All right. All of the big companies that we know of, the Magnificent Seven companies, those are NVIDIA's clients. At some point, they're going to have clients that are even smaller than those Mag 7. So right now, they have large clients that are few, but eventually they're going to have a lot of clients that are smaller. So they'll continue to grow.
Yeah.
This next one is one a lot of people hadn't heard of.
Okay, wait. Wait. I hope I've heard of it. If I haven't, I'm gonna be a little disappointed in myself. Hit me with it.
Taiwan Semiconductor.
Nah, I've never heard that one.
Let me
Spell that, bro.
It's Taiwan is in the country.
Okay. All right.
Semiconductor. Let me tell you why this company may be the most influential company in the world that you've never heard of.
Taiwan Semiconductor.
They actually manufacture the chips that NVIDIA and all of the other companies are selling. So NVIDIA, AMD, all of these companies that are in Oracle, Intel, all of these not Oracle, but Intel, all of these Broadcom that are in this chip industry, Taiwan Semiconductor is actually making the chips. They're making them for everybody.
Yeah, I'm about to buy some stocks.
All right, so that's the third one.
Okay, all right.
This one everybody's heard of, but they don't know them for what they're going to be.
Okay.
And it's Tesla.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So people know Tesla as being an electric vehicle company.
Yeah.
They're way more than that.
Yeah.
They're an artificial intelligence company. They're a robotics company. And from an electric vehicle perspective, there will come a point to where our country passes legislation that will allow robo-taxiing. Okay, where cars can drive on their own.
Yeah.
So you could own a Tesla.
Yeah.
And let's say you go to work.
Yeah.
While you're at work, you can flip on robo-taxi mode and somebody could use your car to go wherever they need to go.
Yes, sir.
That's going to change transportation across the world.
So then outside of the stock world, on the opposite end, would you suggest people, when they can, to get an actual Tesla?
I think that Tesla, and we have a Tesla.
Right.
It is absolutely the best vehicle that I have ever owned.
You serious?
Absolutely. And then when you start talking about the fact, we've always looked at cars as being depreciating assets.
Right.
Forever, right? It's like we drive nice cars. We spend a lot of money. You drive them off the lot when they're brand new, value drops 20%.
Right.
Cars depreciate, even the real nice ones.
Right.
Okay? Now, your car isn't a depreciating asset anymore because it's income generating.
That is true.
It completely changes the game.
Yeah.
That's just one of the things that Tesla is about to do. All right, they got from robotics to artificial intelligence. Yeah. So Tesla's number 4.
I might be trading in my car. Give me a Tesla. Building credit the traditional way is slow and confusing, and most credit cards want you to rack up debt just to boost your score. You see, I used to think that you had to choose between staying debt-free or having a good credit score. But, here's what I've discovered. There's actually a way to build credit without any credit checks, without going into debt, and without paying crazy interest fees. And it works faster than I thought possible. See, my friends at Kickoff, they are the truth. They are doing something different. They help you build credit the right way without the debt trap. I've seen people go from no credit to a 700 plus score using their system, and they did it completely debt free. Say one more time. Completely debt-free. Over 150,000 people have left 5-star reviews on the App Store. Users see an average of 34 points increase in their credit scores. Some even see, watch this, up to 84 points within the first 12 months. These aren't just numbers. These are real people getting approved for homes and getting better interest rates. Here's the truth. Every month you wait is another month of paying higher interest rates on everything. A good credit score can save you a lot of money, thousands on a mortgage, hundreds on car insurance, and even help you skip the security deposits. Don't let bad credit cost you money. I want you to visit anthonyoneil.com/kickoff right now to get started for as little as $1 on your first month. I want you to build credit the debt-free way because your future self will thank you.
So what we're seeing now is in some cities, we're actually seeing Waymo roll out. Waymo is owned by Google.
Okay.
All right. And so we're seeing those robo taxis roll out in some of the largest cities throughout the country. So they're kind of leading that space right now.
Yeah.
Uber's hanging around trying to do something similar.
Yeah.
But Tesla is probably will be the biggest when it rolls out.
I think we can see that within the next 3 to 5 years.
Absolutely. If I believe the next 3 years, because of here's the tricky part. I want to say the next 3 years because this is the most corporate friendly White House we may ever see in American history. Unless this has established a new president. And then we'll see future presidents do the same thing that this president is doing. President and presidents.
Yeah.
I also realize that there's still they still be beefed out. All right. They still not friends.
Right.
So, sometimes people hold grudges and they don't want you making money. So they may not happen during this presidency.
Right.
So it may need to be the next one. Mm-hmm. So it could take a little bit longer.
You know why I like this conversation is because I think specifically within the African American community, we don't do research like this to get ahead. Okay, what's coming? And if I know what's coming and what can possibly be coming, how do I start investing into it now?
Yeah.
So that way when it comes, I'm already in it and my money just shoots up.
Yes.
I forgot the name of the stock, my boy. It just went live. I sent it to you. I forgot the name of that stock.
Yep.
He got into it 4 years ago. Made $1.5 million the day the stock went live. He sent it to me 4 years ago. I said, all right. And when he showed me his portfolio when the day it went live, I was so hurt. So now here you go. You're giving us stocks. The semiconductor, like, bro, as soon as we get done with the show, I'm calling my girl in Jamaica. I'm calling you. And I'm buying stocks.
Yeah.
I'm already in Microsoft. I'm already in NVIDIA. I'm already in Tesla. Now I just got to get me a Tesla car because I'm all about how can I make some more money. But I need to drive a Tesla for a couple of years. Just get a feel for it, but I don't know. I just hate, for me, I know this ain't nothing to do with money. I just hate sitting down waiting for my car to charge, man.
It's so, we charge the car at the house, so we won't have a lot of issues. Now you go on a road trip, it becomes different. Right. All right, but it's not as bad as people think it is.
I feel you. All right, so you gave us 4 single stocks. What about ETFs? Or do you have a 5th single stock?
I got a 5th.
Oh, shoot.
And I don't want to leave this one out. It's Amazon.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Do you think they're going to get stronger, though? Like, they already pretty much own the market.
They own the market, but when you look at what they do through their cloud servers, through like AWS, AWS is going to get bigger because of artificial intelligence. There's a need for more data, data storage, all of and Amazon leads that space. That's one reason. All right. Again, we got to think about Amazon and what they're going to be in the next 5 years, not what we know them as, the retail giant today. The second reason is Amazon is one of the only companies that are starting to manufacture their own chips. So they're one of NVIDIA's customers right now. They pay NVIDIA a ton of money for their chips. But while they're paying for chips from NVIDIA, they're doing research. Not even doing research. They've already started developing their own chips that one day can compete with NVIDIA's chips. They're not there yet, but it's Amazon. They'll get there. So then that just adds a whole nother lane that they could enter that they're not even benefiting from yet.
Oh, man. No, this is good. Okay. We got 5 solo stocks. You got 5 ETFs too, or you just got a couple?
I'm going to give you 3 ETFs.
3 ETFs.
I'm going to give you 3 ETFs. All right. ETF number 1 is VOOG.
Oh, for sure.
VOOG. It is, when you think about the S&P 500, out of the 500 companies that are in the S&P 500, there's really only about 45% of them that are driving the growth.
Facts.
Okay?
Facts.
They're less than half of the 500 are really driving the growth in the S&P 500. VOOG trims out the fat. So you're purely investing in about 200 or so companies versus 500 that are all growth focused.
Yes, sir.
So you trim, so instead of you getting a ribeye, you're getting a filet.
Yes, that's what we need.
All right, you're getting straight to the meat.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's VOOG.
Got
The
that.
second one is VONG. VONG.
I haven't heard of VONG.
These are the growth stocks in the Russell 1000.
Russell, okay.
So we talk a lot about the S&P 500, a lot of these are the largest 500 companies on the stock market. We talk about the NASDAQ and the 100 largest tech companies. VONG is more mid and large cap companies. So you get some exposure to some smaller companies that are growing really, really fast.
Yeah.
All right, so that's VONG. That's another one that is growing well, great for growth investors. And then the last one is SMH, which is the semiconductor ETF.
Yep, got that.
So all of you think NVIDIA, AMD, Broadcom, Oracle, whose stock price just shot up 40% last week. Intel, who 10% of the company is now owned by the federal government, okay? All right, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna work out some deals that's gonna work in their favor. But Intel is in the SMH ETF as well. Those are the 3 ETFs that are growth focused.
No, I love it. I got all these, but number 2 was the VONG. I'm gonna look into that one more. And then I didn't have the semiconductor single stock. See, y'all, listen, man. That's why he the expert. We come in here and we learn. And y'all can get this information every single week just by subscribing to his channel. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because he gonna come on here at least once a month. But y'all can get this every week by subscribing to his channel, because if we're going to produce more income, if we're going to replace a 9-to-5 eventually one day, we got to know the right places to invest. And I'm loving this, man. I'm learning something. I'm like, dang, man, I just bought an everyday car, and I'm like, I might trade an everyday car in for a Tesla, just so I can, get into this world. I have a lot of Microsoft. I have a lot of NVIDIA. I have a lot of Amazon. I don't have a lot in Tesla, though. I ain't gonna lie. And I have 0 in the semiconductor.
I'm gonna tell you, with Tesla, it's especially for black people, man. We have so many thoughts about Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And we have our morality that we're considering.
Yeah.
And I understand. I had a conversation in my community about this. I was like, y'all, we gotta have a heart to heart.
Okay.
All right. Now, I'm never gonna tell anybody to set their morals to the side.
Facts.
All right, because our morals are more important than money.
Facts.
But we also have to understand when we're making a business decision that benefits us.
Yeah.
If we got to the point to where we decided we're not gonna invest in good stocks because of racist CEOs, we would probably be excluded from the entire S&P 500. All right. So people talk about the wealth gap and wanting to close the wealth gap. Numerically, it's really, really tough to close the wealth gap.
Facts.
But if you don't invest at least in the same things that, our counterparts are investing in, you'll never build wealth. You'll never get closer. I don't think it's about closing the wealth gap personally.
Fact.
I don't think we should be focused on that.
Fact.
I think that we should be focused on increasing our wealth.
Yes, sir.
All right. And if we get to the point to where we're excluding so many things, it's like you're doing yourself a disservice. Now, I do have stocks that I won't invest in. I will not invest in for-profit prisons or for-profit detention centers.
Love it.
That's where I draw. That's my line.
Facts.
Right. And everybody has to figure out what that is for them.
Man, that man talking. I've always said, I said, man, for us to close the wealth gap, then that means that our counterparts have to stop making money.
Yeah, stop. Yeah.
That's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen.
And so my focus is like what you said is how do I narrow that a little bit? It's by expanding my wealth, educating my kids and my families and our listeners on how do we do that. And eventually one day, hopefully we can start catching up a little bit by little bit by little bit. I won't be here when it gets real close. I'll be with the Lord. Amen. But hopefully with the information that I have, with the investments that I make, with the businesses that I build, that I pass along to the next generation, it puts them in a better position to eventually keep growing that, to make more wealth, to have more income, to eventually pass on and on and on. Then eventually, hopefully one day we see it closer, right? But I think that we have to start investing in these things ASAP. Now, you just gave this community 3 ETFs and 5 stocks. I know my people. They're over there saying, okay, what the heck? Okay, this is great stuff. Thank you for the practical information. But Courtney only got 500. So are you telling me to go put 50 in Microsoft, 50 in NVIDIA, 50 over here, 50 in Tesla, 50 in Amazon, 50 in BO? It's like, what would you say when someone gets this kind of information? What would you say is the biggest mistake that they do when they first start to invest? Like, should they invest in all of it, or should they pick one and then grow on it? What would you say? Where do they start with all this information we just gave them?
Yeah, I think that you act. The only thing I wouldn't want somebody to do is invest in one individual stock. If you got $500, I would not want you to invest in one individual stock.
Facts.
I mean, if and I say that it's like, but even if you're getting started and you 30 years old, if you took $500 and you invested it in NVIDIA, I'm not bothered by that, because you're going to see that investment go up. And at some point, you're going to start investing in other things.
Facts.
But if you're saying I may not be able to invest in anything else ever again, I would take that 500 and put it into one of those ETFs.
Yeah.
If somebody was like, I got 500 and I want to divide the 500 by the 8 different investments we just talked about, I'm fine with that. Do something.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no wrong answer in what we just provided.
Facts.
So don't overanalyze, where should I start? What should I do? Look, what you need to understand, the ETFs are going to be less risky. Okay, the ETFs are going to be less risky. You can invest in the individual stock. That's going to be all you're going to be starting with. Yep. Just know there are going to be some ebbs and flows.
Ebbs and flows.
All right, that's what you need to know. But do something. Any combination is good.
Yeah, no, that SMH for me, man, I get excited with that one. That SMH made me a lot of money, not last month, but the month before that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I agree with you, like if you're saying, hey, y'all, I have $500, but I don't know if I'll be able to put another $500 in for the next 2 or 3 months, I agree with you, man. I will put it in one of these. And if it was me, I would put it into the SMH. I need to look at more of the VONG ETF. The VOG, I have that, but the VONG, I need to look at it and see what the numbers are doing. But that SMH from my personal portfolio has been winning.
It is, as investing is changing. It's evolving. I talk about this all the time. It's like when I used to be a wealth manager. Yeah. What we do now in the stock market, how we invest is so different. And the industries are different. The how wealth is dispersed across the stock market. Like when I was a wealth manager, there wasn't a magnificent 7, right? You talk about 7 companies are responsible for more than half of the growth in the stock market. Like it wasn't like that. Facts. Yeah. Right. And then even when we see downturns in the market now, they're not lasting as long as they used to. Yeah. Right. I think throughout history, the average recession lasts something like 8 months. Yeah. We're seeing that be a lot shorter now. All right. So it's a different market. So you have to invest in the industries that are going to be a part of the future. You said something a second ago, and I was just sitting here. You said, we have to start investing on the front end of things and not wait until they blow up. Yeah. we need to have a conversation about doing one of these talks about what some of those stocks are.
Oh, let's do that next month.
Let's do that next month.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some things we can get in on the front end.
Yes.
Going to be a little bit more riskier, but people love NVIDIA now. You know, we started investing in NVIDIA 3-4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew about NVIDIA then. They were just making, you know, chips for a gaming system.
Right.
That's what we knew them as. And then they became what they are now.
Yeah.
There are some companies that are, you know, maybe they're not going to grow as fast as NVIDIA did. They may not become the most valuable company in the world.
Right.
But you can see some crazy growth. Maybe they're more like, you know, Palantir, like what we're seeing happen with Palantir over the last year. There are some companies that we need to be paying attention to now before they're on the headlines.
I think black people, and this is me speaking, not Courtney speaking, I think black people, Courtney, we want to see the proof before we invest into it. But by that time, the growth is not going to be there for us.
Yeah.
And then we want to complain like, oh, it's not fair. No. We had the opportunity to invest into it, but we didn't want to take the opportunity to possibly lose some money, but get a crazy gain. And I said, man, I told my good friend Kelvin, Kelvin B, I won't mention his full last name. I told him, hey, bro, send me all the deals that you have now, because I'm like, I'm not going to miss out on that investment. He was only asking for a $50,000 investment that could have made me 7 figures.
Yeah, that's the next level of wealth generation for black people, is like tapping into private equity spaces.
Yes, sir.
Because those returns are ridiculous. There's an article that was published the last few months. It was everyday investors into Uber. And these were obviously people who had personal relationships with the founders or the exec board people that worked there. Could have been some of the first employees too.
Right.
But seeing things like people invest $10,000 that turned into $1 million, like literally, like I'm not exaggerating, like a $10,000 investment turned into like $1 million.
Yes, sir.
Right? There were so many of these. $1 million may be a bit of exaggeration, but $10,000 investment that turns into $500,000
right.
is absurd. Like that's the next level of wealth generation that I hope, you know, black people can benefit from. We've done a couple deals and waiting on our first exit to see what happens. But that changes the game.
Oh, facts. And those, we got to do a show on that too. I think it'll be dope to bring you and my boy Kelvin in, because that's all he does outside of his full-time situation. And I'm like, he makes more money doing that than he does doing his full-time situation. If I said his full-time situation, I think everyone would be like, wait, what? Like, he makes more money investing into companies, investing into the stock market than he does his career full-time. And I'm like, so I've invested in 2 things with him. And I'm like you, I'm waiting for my exit. But the exit is like the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's not a short-term thing. It's a long-term play. But if everything goes well,
hey, it's a game.
Bro, it's a game
changer.
I'm gonna be 50 like, yeah. And I think I always say this, and this is how we'll end the show today, that the caliber of our future will be determined by the caliber of our choices we make today. Like, if we want a bright future 10, 15, 20 years from now, what decision are we making today that will impact 15 to 20 years from now? You know, when I look at what you and your fiance are building, man, it's like y'all are seeing the return of it today. But man, can you imagine what's going to be in the next 15, 20 years? And how your beautiful daughter and her kids and then y'all's grandchildren eventually will be able to reap the rewards because of the decisions you made in 2025 and 2020, that in 2020, 35, 45, when y'all are 60s and traveling the world, like, those decisions have made an easier life for your children and grandchildren, because the money is now producing more money. And I want to get to the point to where my money is making more money than a full-time job could ever make me.
Yeah.
And I think when we could pass that education down, that changes the game. It narrows the wealth gap, and it puts our children and our communities in a different perspective, man. So, hey, y'all, listen, man, we're going to link All of Courtney's information, like what we normally do. If you have not subscribed to his YouTube channel, please subscribe to his show. He has an amazing investing platform to where you can go in there and learn no matter what level you're on. You can go and learn how to make and flip your money. Today, I need you to get some stocks, open up a ETF, get you one of them stocks. Because I'm telling you right now, we got to get you off your 9 to 5. Well, I'll play this. We got to get you to a place to where that's not the only source of income that you have. Because in this market, you just don't know what's going on and what your job can have for you tomorrow. So listen, thank y'all so much for rocking with this. Check out my brother's YouTube channel. His shows he doesn't do fluff. You know, it's straight to the point. As soon as you start, you got 20, 30 minutes of straight information that can change your financial future when it comes to investing. So check him out. We'll see you next show. Peace out.